All right, Lindsay, we'll see you in a few minutes. The weather turns very serious up north. A search underway right now for a 70-year-old man who was swept away by floodwaters in Cordes Lakes.
That man was last seen holding on to his car as water carried it down Big Bug Creek. The car was later found, but the man is still missing. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is live in Cordes Lakes with the latest on this search. Gabriella, what happened?
Well, Troy, I just checked in with officials and they tell me as of right now they are still searching for that man, and that search spans several miles down this creek. But this is where he first went missing. We're told that man was attempting to cross this road around 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon when his car was swept away by floodwater. The creek has since receded some overnight, but you can see just how high that surge had expanded yesterday. And officials tell me they're expecting it to get even worse this evening. I want to show you video from a 12 News weather watcher showing the initial water rescue. We can see a helicopter and emergency vehicles surrounding the creek as rescuers attempted to reach the driver. According to the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, a Good Samaritan jumped in the water to try and save the driver. When search and rescue teams arrived, the pair were holding on to the trunk of the car and the surge was moving very quick. Rescue teams were able to reach the Good Samaritan and pull him to safety, but they were unable to get to the driver before the car was swept further down the creek. Search teams discovered the car about 2 miles away, but the driver was not inside. Officials were able to identify the driver by his car registration, and family confirmed the man had left home around 3 o'clock and didn't make it to his destination. Teams consisting of people on the ground, canines, and drones searched overnight, but the sheriff's office says weather has been a challenge for their efforts.
The weather has not made it easy for us to search. The inclement weather really poses a great safety hazard to my search teams because we have to put somebody several miles down the river to look at the storm surge and keep us updated about where the surge is coming from and if it's coming quick and how quick it's coming so that I can back searchers off of the river.
And Lieutenant Owens tells me they're asking community members to hold off on joining their search party now with the incoming weather because of how quick the creek and river can rise. They want to avoid putting more lives at risk, and because of that, they'll also be calling off the professional search team as soon as the weather or sunset deems it necessary. One thing that they did want to say is they're really urging people not to cross roads like this when water is flooding the roads because of how dangerous it is. Just a small amount of water can take a car and even a human being away. So they're asking people just to turn around and go home. We actually were just able to meet the Good Samaritan who helped try to save this driver. And so we'll share more from him coming up at 5 o'clock. Live in Cordes Lakes, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the last person who went missing in one of these washes was found several miles downstream. So, Gabby, am I hearing this right? Because this sounds very unusual, that rescue crews were actually there starting that rescue when the car swept down, or was it just the Good Samaritan who was there?
So the Good Samaritan said he had heard when the car was still about right here, he had heard that the man calling for help. So he came and he tried to get to him. He said the water was rising so quick. It was about the level that it is right now, he said, but it quickly rose to where those yellow signs are. And so he said it was happening so quick that they started to move. They both were hanging on to the trunk of the car. And then the Good Samaritan got hit by some debris and he was knocked underwater. Luckily, that's when the search crews were arriving and they were able to grab onto him using a rope. They were unable to get that rope, though, to the driver. And so although the Good Samaritan was able to get to safety, the driver was swept further down the creek.
It shows you how powerful it is, right? That the crews are actually there, but it's so powerful they couldn't get to that second man. All right, Gabby, thank you. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story.